Recently my son moved out to begin his university education, and all of a sudden my home became an empty nest. And I was like, what am I supposed to do now? And everything was just all of a sudden so quiet. Of course, you want your kids to have independent lives, but still, it's kind of a bittersweet feeling. If we go back in time a little bit, moving out was not really that common. People would live with their parents, their extended family sometimes, until they themselves were in a position where they could start a family, you know. And I find it, even though I don't want to go back to that necessarily, but I find it a little bit odd that it's now like by default, as they say, you have to move out. And having said that, I think I heard somewhere that they call this this generation now, in their early 20s and so on, the boomerang generation, because lots of them, they are moving back to their parents after university education because of the job because of the job market. I guess for me, I notice this change probably more than other fathers, because I'm a novelist. I've always worked from home, so I had more time with my kids when they were growing up. And again, I ask myself, what am I supposed to do now? All of a sudden, I have all this time, It's very strange. It's very strange. And by the way, my name is Bjorn. I live here in Norway, beautiful Norway. My kids are the light of my life. And I really mean that. Yeah. I'm talking to a lot of parents here, I know, and you can relate, of course you can. And this feeling of love for your children is as old as mankind, older, before we were even this species. We probably felt that need to protect and that love for our children. And to make this big change in my life even more noticeable, it is now, as I'm recording this, the first week after the Norwegian school summer holiday. And I live in a place where a lot of people come here for the holidays, for the vacation, summer vacation. And now they've gone back home. And a place like this, it's very quiet. I'll be tidying up a little bit though. Well, they've left some rubbish here, after the week, and I'll tidy up. But yeah. So it's, again, it's very quiet, peaceful, But okay, I'll show you something that will make you laugh, okay? Yeah, I'm going to try these out. This is a fake dragonfly. The season of the deer loves flies has started, and apparently these fake dragonflies will scare them away. And it doesn't look ridiculous at all. Subscribe to the channel and all that, and then you will know after a while if these actually work, because I will be testing them out. I'm out in the woods here every day, so we'll see if it works. Hopefully it works. I will be going hiking and camping more, because, you know, I don't have a job to go to, and I can do what I like whenever I like. I picked up archery again. I'm shooting the longbow and also traditional archery, and I make my own bows for the traditional archery. So I picked up that, you know. Yeah. But still, you know, it feels very empty. But I realize I'm very lucky to have a life like this, with all this freedom. And if you have been following this channel for a while, you know that I'm kind of obsessed with the Viking Age. And if you look at family during the Viking Age, it was kind of different, because sometimes kids would be placed in the home of another family, so fostering was quite common. Also, people tended to live in larger families, like extended families, and you could even have like multiple wives. A wealthy man could have multiple wives in the same household, as I have mentioned before. So the family looked different in many ways. Not saying that you didn't have, you know, the traditional mother, father, and kids, because I think that was the most common after all. But still, you know, even if you grew up in a family setting that was different compared to the modern family setting. And I'll get back to that in a few seconds. But even if you grew up in a very different setting compared to us today, you still would, like, you would present yourself and even have in your name who your father is, and sometimes you would be. So your lineage was, your ancestry was seen as a part of you. You know, your identity. Yeah, the modern family structure is very often a single parent household. Now, I don't have statistics on that, you know, like off the top of my head, and it's probably different from country to country. And I think there's a lot of grief, especially among the fathers who see their kids maybe, you know, only every second weekend. I think they carry a lot of grief, and I don't think that's spoken about enough. We should talk more about that, I think. I don't have the solutions. I'm just saying that is a major problem. Many men struggle with that all through their lives, you know. And yeah, so you know, cheers, skål to all of you single parents out there, whether you live with your kids or not. Now, I realized that this topic is not one that will do well on YouTube. We live in the the time and the age of the rage bait economy, I guess. But I still wanted to talk about this because I think it's important. Some parents, they go into an actual depression when their kids move out. I don't know how common that is, but it happens, you know. Yeah. What am I supposed to do now? I don't know.